Okay. All right. So we're starting now. So I need to so the is officially open. Please, if you have questions, please just do a wave. Um, you can react with a wave so that I will know, and then I can take your questions. I know, we have a classwork yesterday, stroke assignment. The assignment is basically to create the tenants. And then we have two ways around it. A lot of us had problem yesterday. One of the things I got kind of feedback is some people don't have a credit card. Some people, they try to create a developer's account. They don't have sandbox. We try to look at a way around it. Um, you know, like I said, so I went ahead to create a developer's account, and also with the sandbox, which I believe it can be shared. So, and I believe that the program manager must have communicated to that. So that way, you are not going to be left behind, even if you don't have an account that is operational. You can as well use that account. But if you just feel like, okay, I don't have the accounts and I don't have what it takes for now, you can watch. But I believe the best way you can learn, and then you're serious about learning and connecting with opportunities, and you want to learn it to the end. So I believe you should be able to practice, 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 practice. I don't want people to be on this call and then not be able to practice, because what it means is that, I mean, if you can't practice, we can't even ascertain you even giving you a certificate in the first place. So would expect that, because at the end of the day, you want to use us as a reference. Oh, I studied this as with a Devostar solution and all that and all that. That would be a stepping stone for you to get, even if it's going to be an entry-level job you want to go for. That would be a stepping stone for you. So we believe that's going to be a very good opportunities, a good opportunity around you. So I'm going to take the question one by one. So I have, eventually, I think it's better for us to put our name on our phone so that I will be able to call us. Because if you use iPhone, how will I be able to know that your name is iPhone? So please, let's always have our name so that I can be able to identify what is this name for, right? So I have iPhone. I don't know what your name is. Please, you want to go ahead? Next time, I'm not going to call anybody who doesn't have a phone. Add a name on their phone, because I believe it's good for us to have a name. Yeah, tell us your name and then let's know exactly the question.
My name is Donald. Good evening, sir. My name is Donald
Good evening.
Anozi, calling from Owerri. I have I want to ask if someone with Microsoft 365 education, that's A1, if
Okay.
someone who has the for that can still do this.
Yeah, so we do not advise if you have one. Um, I don't know the one you have. Do you have the question I'm going to ask is the one you have, are you the admin? Now, two things are involved here. Number one, you said education. Two is that
Yes.
if you have education, are you the admin on that account? Are you the global admin, or you have a privileged access on that account, or you are just using it, or you are working, in an environment where you are provisioned that account?
More like a student's account. It has my name and the name of the institution. It's an American university.
Yeah, so exactly. So you will need a separate account. I think I answered this, one of the this in that you will need a separate account, because this account you wanted to have is going to be a practice account. Now, you don't want to be playing. In fact, as a matter of fact, you may not even have access to other users in that tenant, because we are looking at something that you're going to have access to tenants. You play with your users, you work with your users, you do all manner of things you want to do there. And then you don't want to go on the live account. So whatever account that you have, whether it's a work account, a school account, work or school account, those accounts, keep it to your account. Create a separate account if you can. Some people have problem with creating developers accounts. Some people have problem with creating the normal enterprise account, which I started with yesterday. Whichever way, try to create a separate that. Don't use the one that you have, whether you're working with organization in Nigeria or you are privileged to have those accounts. Please don't use them.
Okay,
Use the one, yes, use the one that is good for your practice. Like I said, there's a provision already for those people who may want to, because we are not really charging anybody for any money, like I said. But if we want to be sure that people are serious, the other day I saw people making comments on this thing, drawing something on it, which is not acceptable. A lot of energy is into this, a lot of seriousness is put into this. We don't want people who are not serious, and then we cannot just provide account for people who know that they are not going to stay to the end of the class. So we want to be sure that if you are going to even come in or be provisioned the access to that platform, we are so sure that yes, you're really serious, you're determined, and then you can be able to. Don't get me wrong, if you have an account that you can create for free, we are all good. Whatever it is, where you can do it, we are fine. But I will appreciate that if you know that you don't have a sandbox in whatever account that you have, you can approach the program manager. They will provision your account, and access to the tenant where you have access to everything that you need to work with. So, and then you're not being charged, but you're only paying the money for your what's it called, for your certificate at the end of the class. So you're not being charged. So
okay.
we want to make sure we keep that, in perspective. So, Mr. Ali,
Okay.
yeah, Mr. Do you still have a follow-up question?
Yes. Since I tend to pay, of course, I want to pay for the certification, but not now. I don't know if since I don't have the cash now, maybe I can pay in a couple of days, and then I'm
Yeah,
also trying if I'll create a dev account via GitHub and see if I can get
yeah,
this.
it's up to you. It's up to you. Whatever way you want to, we are fine. We just want to make sure everybody participates. So that's the essence. We want to make sure everybody participates in the class. That's the intention. We want to make sure that we're not just teaching you and then so if whichever, I know some people already have their account, which is okay, and they can continue to use that. Only those people, if maybe Microsoft makes some changes and all that, they could not create that dev account with Sandbox. For those who able to create Sandbox without that, they are fine. Again, we are not even the account we want to invite you to, we are not charging. We always want to make sure that whoever who is going to be on this account, they pay their certificate ahead of time, and that's okay. Then we know that they are serious. So so that's the essence. So I'm
Thank you.
going to take, yeah, you're welcome. I'm going to take Mr. Aliyu. Mr. Aliyu? Mr. Aliyu, can you go ahead with your question? Mr. Aliyu, are you there? Okay, let me take over to St. Charles. St. Charles, can you go ahead with your question? So, is anybody not hearing me? It looks like I'm not. I think I was just conversing.
I can hear you from my head.
Okay, okay, good, good.
We are hearing you.
Okay, thank you, thank you. One or two is okay. I appreciate that. So, St. Charles, are you there? You want to ask your question before we move into the next thing? Because we have a lot of things to cover today. For the rest of the week, I know that many people don't have their money handy, which is okay. For the rest of the week, just meet with Mr. Daniel and Mr. Daniel, just chat with him. We have between now and next week for you to have access, and then you can have time to work. I'm going to walk us through that account that I've just created, and so that you understand what I'm talking about. So then I'm also going to use that as well to also do the training for as many people who are going to be on the distance. So I have AK, say Aquop or something. I'm sorry if I mistakenly call your name, not good. So Aquop, please can you ask your question, please? I can't hear you. I can't hear Aquop. You're muted. Saint Charles, are you want to speak now? Because I asked you to.
Hello, good evening.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Aquop. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I want to because I did my first time. The other last week, I missed it and I was sending. I couldn't join, so I don't really know where we are. I'm kind of
okay?
not.
Yeah. So when you couldn't
I'm kind of
join,
not.
yes, you can watch it
Sorry.
on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube because they already sent all those. The program last week was sent for the orientation.
Hello.
Yesterday also the program too also is on YouTube. You can watch it as well. So you can right.
Where is the link for the?
Yes, so the link was sent on the platform. Maybe you didn't check through your mail or your messages.
Okay. I saw one that said replay of last. Is it last class?
Exactly. Yeah, so
All
if you
right.
go to the Devostat, you see a different the every time we finish. In fact, right now it's going on live for as many people who want to join via YouTube. The program is going on live, and then for people who want to watch through, we don't have any problem with that. So if you're in a class, it makes sense because you have opportunity to ask questions, and then we can look at issues with you, and then we don't have any problem with that. So and then we can take our attendance that, okay, yes, you did actually attend the class. So that's so
Okay, I'm here now. I'm here. Can you hear me?
But
yes, yeah, go ahead.
I'm not done. I'm not done, please. I'm not done.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, now yesterday was just the first class.
Yesterday was the first class. The
All
other
right.
day was the when they had the orientation. Yes,
Okay.
yesterday was the first class. Yes.
Oh, okay. So I would like to know the timing. Is it just only weekends or is still during the week?
Weekend for now. Weekend. All
Okay,
right.
Saturday, Sundays.
Yes, Saturday, Sunday. So
Same time, 7 p.m., 7 p.m.
Exactly.
All right. So are we meant to install any application?
Yes, I think the instruction, you need to go back to the platform, and then you can meet Mr. Daniel. Some of these things I think has been addressed. First, go back to the first, go to the first one, go to the video, go to the second one, because you may be able to understand some of these things that we are talking about now. Then also go through all the messages that have been sent to you as part of the onboarding process too. Then you'll be able to catch up with it. Any other information you can ask the program manager, because we are eating into our time for the training. So we don't want to have, so we want to make sure that the questions are limited to, the training here for today.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, St. Charles.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I
can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me? Yeah,
Yes.
I was talking. Yeah, you were talking something. My network was not clear about registration of the account. So I don't know if somebody create the account. Of the trial is like 1 month free, but you are saying you are giving us. I said here's something breaking. I think was not clear that you're going to give
So
somebody 1 month free. Yeah.
I said that many people have problems. When we ask them, there are two accounts. The first account was that they have enterprise accounts, which normally these are the accounts you are supposed to use to, because When you get to a production environment or a company account, that's what the account are going to, ask you to work with. However, there's a development, there's a dev program, there's a dev account. Dev accounts, mostly that dev account comes with a sandbox. Sandbox is in an environment where you can practice with with something that's already been created, or just to play with the scenarios, right? So that's a sandbox account. So, but because a lot of people created that dev account, because some of you have credit card issues and all that, and then all we need to do was that, okay, since people cannot, it's made majority people don't have the sandbox account, after they created it, they don't have the sandbox because they are not qualified, whatever it is. So we decided to create one, which we are going to allow people to share, with the condition that if they have to share it, there have to be people who are serious minded. And that was why we said those people have to be people who are ready to pay for the certificate ahead of time. So we are going to be sure that we don't just give it to anybody, right? I want people that are very serious. So you are not paying for the account. You're only paying for your certificate ahead of time. But we have to be sure, number one, we have to limit the number of people that are going to share with, and two, people will know that they are serious-minded. They are not going to abuse the account because they know what's at stake for them. So I'm sorry, we have to put it that way. I'm the kind of person I told them, like, this program is for free. I'm, doing it. At the same time, people are going to actually, it's being organized by the Hoster Solution, and this program, for those people who are going to, participate in that program, have to be serious-minded people. So that's the thing. So I will go to Abosede. Abosede, you can go ahead with your question before I go into my class.
Okay, then the price is how much?
It's 10,000. I think I saw it on the platform already. So if you're interested, it's the same 10,000 for your own certificate. Now money, you are not going to pay for any certificate. You're just going to put towards your certificate. That's all.
Okay, is it that the certificate of the organization or the certificate from Microsoft that we're going to get?
No, the certificate from the organization. You are going to get a DOMS that you are going to, after that, there are a number of things that the Vosta is providing. After the class, you are going to be getting a DOMS, which ordinarily you have to go and pay for, maybe in almost $100 plus, for you to go and get it done, for you to even use to practice in case you want to do business. So there's a lot of privileges and all that have been provided for you, for those who are going to get a certificate anyway. So it's not compulsory, and then there are going to be a group where they will be sending jobs and all that for them and all that, and then for entry-level job anyway. So for those who want to move higher beyond what they have, yes, of course, they move into the next group, and then we'll continue from there. All right. So let me quickly take the last question before I go. Otherwise, we will not go to start the class. So we have Bosede. I am only taking this question because of what happened yesterday, because a lot of people could not have accounts. So let's restrict this second. You can ask other questions when on your group. So Bosede, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the privilege. I appreciate it. So I would say I'm a victim of those that wasn't able to create accounts yesterday too. Because I raised the question that what of those that had this authenticator already? Maybe their work demands them to download them, so you get. So how can I have this one that you are talking about? So I thought you were talking to St. Charles the other time. I could grab some information from there.
Yeah. So you can. Okay, go ahead. I thought you. So because the authenticator can be used for several applications. Your one authenticator can use for several applications, even more, even this one that is not even related to Microsoft. Their authenticator is just a kind of a security token, right? So, excuse me. So whether you are using the authenticator for your office, which is just the app that you already have, you can still use that same authenticator. You don't need to download another one.
Okay.
You will see, if you click on that authenticator, which is a very valid question anyway, because some of you have that are working already. Now, under that authenticator, you will see plus. If you open it, you say plus. Just click plus. Click on that plus. You're going to can add additional account to it.
Yes.
So yeah, so this should not affect your work. They authenticate differently. So this is a technical question, so I'll take that.
All
Is
right.
there any other person who want to ask a technical question? Technical question, please.
I'm not yet through my question, please. I
Okay,
have a
okay,
list.
okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
So my second question is, I can see on the group that you're talking about the certificate of 18, paying for 10,000 certificate. I think I have made something like this related to this question last week. I think so. That out of we that want to go for advanced and something, are we still paying for this certificate? Are we going to
So
have two certificates or
this
what?
what, yeah, this is what I'm going to say. I think the program manager may have something to say about that. This is what I'm going to say. For your hold to be sure that you have a slot, whatever you know you can pay ahead of the class, you can just pay for you to have that privilege, because we don't want to just give anybody who is not serious that, that privilege, that account. So even if it's 10,000 you have, there's going to be applied towards your fee for the next class. So we are not charging people. It's going to be applied towards the next class for the next class. So so I think that's what you can do. But you can talk to the program manager more. Yeah, so whatever it is you want to pay, that's it. But this class, we said it's already for free for everybody. Except that, okay, for this one, we want to be sure that people who are going to be admitted to that shared account, there are people who know that, okay, they have something at stake. They're not going to start messing up with the accounts and all that. So I wish I could ask everybody to do that. I can't, because I realize that because it is free, a lot of people are, the other day I was teaching and I saw people making marker on the descent. Obviously, it's not everybody who actually wanted to come in for the class actually is ready. So I can't, so I have to have a measure to make sure that, okay, only people they are very, very serious with this class actually be given that privilege. Because if you're serious with something, or you have a hold on something, you know how to actually value what you are being, what you're receiving. So I will I will leave it that way. So
Okay.
that's it. Okay, so you can yes.
All right, please. I'm not a type that do talk when I'm having the meeting like this. I'm serious, but because I have interest, that's why I'm asking questions. But I still
Yeah,
have like two questions more. Please don't be angry. Sorry, please.
yeah, go
So
ahead.
I want to ask about the advanced class. Does it encompass maybe like Azure or anything cloud, something like that?
Yes,
I mean,
the Azure class has a little higher than this, because it
oh,
encompass Azure, it encompass virtual machines, creating virtual machines online and all that. The Azure. In fact, before you even finish the Azure class, we have to create a virtual machine before, even in this class, at least just for you to have an idea of what virtual machine is all about. So it's going to be part of this. But for those who are going to go into the next class, they are going to create their own virtual machine. We're going to figure out how we're going to do it, because some people who don't have account problem now, we may have to do something also on that end. So I'll figure out what we're going to do to ensure that people can have access to virtual machine, because the virtual machine side will need a subscription. You have to be able to create your machines, you have to create a server, whatever it is. We'll go with that. So because it's an advanced class, so definitely we'll provide all of that, as part of what we plan. All right, so I'm
so
going to
is it possible for us to get a syllabus of the advanced class,
I
or
think
you can?
that was shown. I'm not sure whether that was shown during the this thing. Yes, I can send that to the group. I mean, or maybe to you, for you to see. In fact, we have syllabus for the advanced. We have syllabus for the experts class. So we have syllabus for all those. We have syllabus for all those. So I'm going to just go ahead with the class now. So so that we can really cover a lot of things today.
All right,
So
thank you,
please,
sir.
pardon me. All right.
Mhm.
All
Thank you.
right. You're welcome. So today, this is week, I will take this one as week 1. Yeah, last week was your orientation. We have week 1 and then day 2. And so I'm going to share my screen. All right, so we all can lower our this thing. We'll take other questions much later when we are done with the class. So welcome again. Couple of things before we go into classwork. I just need to explain a few things. Today we are going to be going through a number of things. We'll be going to week 1, day 2. We're looking at what is identity, directory, identity, and then we're going to we will check in through what hybrid integration, Microsoft tenants, identity models, user type, managing identities, and then tenants and license. So this is going to be what we're going to be looking at. So let's start off with identity or directory. So some of you may have had opportunity to work in an enterprise environment. Some are just learning or just starting. So I also need to also give the basis. So to understand what we are trying to do here, now we have two different. We have Microsoft from Microsoft perspective. We have something called on-premise, and we have something called cloud. Last week I explained what cloud is all about. It means that you try to have access to another resource. It could be a virtual machine somewhere else other than where you are. So that is a cloud environment. Now when we talk about directories, it's we have several directories, but when it comes to Microsoft largely have two major form of directory, because that's where we are focusing on. Two major directory system. I'll call it directory system. Now, this directory often works on a different environment. Now, and then we have two form of environments this time around. We have cloud environment, which you are used to already, or I explained already. And then we have what we call on-premise. Now, on-premise means that, you also, I think I also mentioned private. I mentioned private last week, that we have a private, hybrid, and then we have a cloud in public, kind of. We have public, we have private, and we have hybrid. Now, when it comes to private, now, if you are going to have a directory, so directory basically is going to be something that binds everybody. Now, think of it like when you walk into, let's even start with your phone directory. You go into your phone, you see different people who are connected on your phone, connected to you, and you have saved their name on your phone. What happened? Anytime you want to call them, what do? You just go and pick the name of that person and you call. Now, the same way too, directory function that way. Now, directory is what keeps every of your users in one spot, that provide them with a security details that said, okay, this person has this, has this. And then other services make use of this directory. So if you have a directory, maybe your office, for instance, where people can just say, oh, so you can have a directory on the shelf or something. Somebody can just go and look at it. Okay, how can I get this person and go? This person is in this so floor, and then they can locate the person in so floor or the organization. That is a directory. So meaning that you can actually locate anybody, maybe in 6th floor of that organization, because you already saw the directory from the ground floor. Now, what Active Directory is doing is that it's a directory. Entra ID2 is also a directory. Now, the only difference is that they existed in different environments. Now, when it comes to Microsoft Cloud, you said, oh, the directory that is existing in Microsoft Cloud is called Entra ID. While the directory that is existing without the cloud environment is Active Directory. Now, the Active Directory also exists in what we call domain controller. That is when you install it on a server machine. That is when you install it on the server machine. Now, while the Entra ID comes with the cloud, so you don't need to install it. So that's the difference. So just for you to understand. So they have two different directories. And then inside this directory is where we call the identities. Inside this directory, you have different identities. that you can think of. You have user identity, you have group identity, you have device identity. So, and then you have application identity. All this identity, they can actually, that's how what you can use to note them, how you can locate them. Either you are using Entra identity, or you are using either use Entra directory, or you are using Active Directory. You can locate them through these you can locate, you see all these identities in these directories. Now other things that can also happen is this directory can be connected. This directory can be connected. So in most cases, remember we also talked about hybrid. We have a public service which belongs to the category of Entra ID. We have a private which belongs to the category of Active Directory. But in this case, you can also, for the sake who are just joining, you understand it better when you watch the last class. Some of this thing I'm talking about now, which is the one I did yesterday. Now, this one is you can integrate two of them. In most organizations, they can have their own infrastructure and still connect to hybrid or connect to a service outside their infrastructure. And that's what we call the hybrid. And the only thing that can help them to connect those identities together, remember we talked about different that they can exist in different places. The only thing that can connect them, as far as Microsoft is concerned, Microsoft had a tool called Entra ID Connect. There are other things too. I don't want to go beyond this level. Now, so that said, what it means is now where you have a local on premises, and then you have, you see here, you have a local on premises, and then you have a cloud on premises. And then you look at the second diagram, you see where a user can actually a user is trying to check information on the services here. What happened to that user? Now, because that user identity is also presented in the on-premise environment, that user, the authentication will go back to the on-premises. I'm going to explain all that. Don't worry about some of these this thing. And then they'll go back again to actually access. So this one goes, you want to check a service here, but this account is also existing in on-premise. That's an hybrid environment. And then it goes back to check the information there. So anyway, I'm just trying to give you an idea of what we are trying to deal with going forward, because we are going to deal with a whole lot of things in the next 3 weeks. So we have, then another thing I also want us to note is something called tenants. You've heard me talk about tenants. And yesterday I tried to create a tenant, and then we tried to create a demo tenant, and then that's where a lot of people are having problem. But that's okay. If for those who are in the US, for instance, they're able to create their own tenants because Microsoft permit their credit card and all that. Maybe because of the functionality for those in Africa, they do not probably allow their credit card or something to work to be able to create on Microsoft things. So, and that's why we are providing something else. Now, what is a tenant? A tenant immediately means a small portion of Microsoft cloud environments, like a Microsoft cloud environment. So it's a subscription. Just I think of you trying to when you get a phone, you get a phone and then you go and buy a SIM. For those who are in the general part of Africa, you bought a SIM, and then that SIM, and then you see Glo, for instance, Glo technology, or Globacom or whatever it's in Nigeria, for instance. And then he has already brought a very large equipment, places somewhere, get all this. And I said, okay, if you want to use a portion of our system where you can make call to any of your relatives or something, this is what you're going to be paying us per minute. And that's what costs subscription. Because you already have that understanding that before you do, in their own, some are different. Some are pay as you go. You buy the credit first and then you so call. Some may say, pay us later, prepaid or paid, postpaid, whichever way. The same way too, you have what we call a cloud environment where you buy a portion, maybe monthly, and said, oh, monthly, charge me on a monthly basis for my service. And that's what we call a tenant. So you have a subscription, and then you'll be able to pay a part of it. And then we have different types of tenants. We talked about work tenants, which we were trying to create yesterday. We also have other tenants, but I'm not going to go into that. Like, this sandbox, they are just they are not the work environment. But the major one we want to talk about is the work tenant, and that work tenant can be single or multi-tenant. So what it means is, what does this mean? A company can actually have one tenant and have another tenant attached to it. Let's say maybe they are big companies and they have several conglomerates and they want to have several, conglomerate, and they also want these people to work and interact together. In that case, they will have multi-tenants. So we have a situation whereby, for those who are going to be going to expert level, where we'll be doing migrations, those people will have to do what we call migration from tenant to tenant. So now here's the situation where we have what we call another tenant called CIM. So this customers identity access management. And so basically this other tenant allows user interface. Think of people like Facebook, people like what's it called? Intel, and people that support several users, which is not a work tenant. They can use their Yahoo, Google, any of these accounts to actually get access to resource or materials. And I'm sure you have seen a situation whereby somebody, you were trying to create an account maybe on Instagram or Google and say, or maybe you're trying to create an account somewhere. And then that said, say you can use your Facebook account, you can use your Google account. What does that tell you? What tells you is that this particular environment, it has its own work environment that people are working inside the organization, and also multi people that are trying to access the resources, they can use different accounts. So, we're going to get to all those dynamics later on, going forward. But this just for you to understand that these are different type of tenants that you probably coming across with. We call it B2C, which is business to customer, or there's Microsoft also have something called external ID. Is an evolution of B2C, which is just coming up. So now we have going to the next one. We have what we call Office 365 Center, which I said uses identities based on two models. Of course, this Office 365 Admin Center, they have two major models. Like I mentioned, we have a cloud only environment, which we talk about, and then another model that it has is, I'm talking about Office 365, which means, please understand me now, because it's not a private now. You have Office 365. When you go to Office 365 endpoint or environment, when you were trying to check the identities that is there, if that's a particular organization only have a cloud only environment, you will see user that only cloud environment. You see device that only cloud environment. You see all those are cloud environment. But if that environment already had been synced using Entra ID Connect that I showed you before, what it means is that all the users will be synchronized from the on-premises Active Directory, and that becomes hybrid identity. So I just want you to understand that. So, and that's what we call hybrid identity. So the hybrid identities are these are managed in on-premises, which we talked about, and then those managed as they are managed there, and they're synchronized to Microsoft Entra ID with this. So, and then we can also talk about this, the models within the hybrid, So, of course, just for knowledge sake, we have synchronized identity, which means the one that is synchronized from this, and then we have federated identities. These are complex environments, which we can talk about on the expert level. But just for your knowledge sake, have understanding that, likely for this and going to entry level job, you don't really need this one. So we have, let's go to the other one. So this is just a picture diagram of what we are talking about, when you have a cloud single environment, and where you have the second one, where you have a account that is being synced or being moved. When you say being synced, it means you have an account in on premises, which is Active Directory, and then you want that same account to still function in the cloud environment. So what it means is that there's a way Microsoft sync it so that the account will coexist on the two environments. So that if anytime I want to use Microsoft resources that are not on my on-premise environment, I can use that same account to have access to it. And then the real source of that account will be on premises Active Directory. So I just want you to understand that fact. So, and that's being said, so when we also look at the user type, we have user type, user type in Microsoft and Entra ID user type. So we have user type in Microsoft ID. So we have user who are part of the organization. So we have this is a general one, user type, which is covers this, and then we have the first level. If you're an enterprise environment, of course, the first thing is you will see that whether you are employed with any of these organizations, you will still want the full-time employment, right? And then you can also see something called a guest or external user invited to the tenant to have access to the resources. That's what that's the method we are trying to use now for people who want to come into the environment I just created. So it will be a guest account and they will have access to just like a user that's working inside. So we don't need to. So that's a strategy we are trying to use now. Now, also, anonymous users. So external access with limited access. So this is something similar to this, but they have a similar access and they're using it for their collaboration scenario. So we have, then the other one is external identity for external tenants. So, I already talked about that in some cases you may have multiple external identity multiple tenants. So when you have multiple tenants, you also have other external identities. So just have that at the back of your mind. Now, managing identity, we're going to start working on this now to manage the identities, users, device groups, applications, service transfers, and then of course, I already put this one. This is what we're trying to do yesterday. So we're going to go into the class work now. So to start with, we want to look at assigning license. Some of you have your account, you have your sandbox. There's no problem about what you have. What you need to do is, if you have learn how to assign licenses to users. So if you have this thing, I'm going to show that now, how to assign licenses. I'm going to assign roles to users, which we are going to be using for those people who are going to be using our sandbox environment. I'm not going to show that how to create a share mailbox as well, how to practice with a mailbox delegation, how to practice with email sending, create groups, and then also create resource mailbox. And then of course the assignment will be, please take a note of this assignment. The assignment will be, so I might probably need to send this one to this thing. License most of the users this time around. Don't need to license because for those who are going to be using our sandbox, you don't need too much of license. You can just you play with removing license and licenses, and then but especially if you want to use, so basically you don't need, because they are licensed already. I'm going to show you how to license a user and then how to assign the roles. So whenever you do something, you undo it. So I'm going to create a rule. If you use something, if you change something, put it back again where you saw it. The same thing to create share mailbox. You can do away with the new share mailbox. If you have an existing share mailbox, leave it as it is. So you can practice with mailbox delegation, and then so that other person who is also within the environment can have chance to do things. Well, for the create share mailbox, you can create unlimited share mailbox anyway, because that one is not an issue for us. But those ones that have been licensed, we don't need to do that. So I'm going to first take few questions. I'm going to take few questions, then I go into the practical class, right? So for you might want to have let me stop share. Just few question before I go to the next class. Any question? Okay. All right. So if there are no questions, I think if there are no questions, I think it was this last person that asked the question about. So let's go to the next class. So the next items we have on that to actually do those things. 1 minute. All right, so we have this is developer account. We have you see developer account, and everyone, if you check here, you will see this is what you're going to see. You're going to see M365 account. You see myself, which is OST. So the major thing here is OST5st.onmicrosoft.com. That's what we created. All these users that you see here have been created for us. Doesn't mean we cannot create more users. We can create more users. We can create more users with the same ID. The only thing is, if we finish the license, we can you see, there are still licenses. So we have about 25 licenses. What I will do is, for those who are going to be using this account, once you create a user and you feel that you can delete that user, right? And leave the existing one. So you can also make those ones that you already have there. So we can create a new user, which we are going to do now. But I'm just trying to give us understanding. So let's go to the first thing items that we have on our listing. We want to be able to create user and assign user. How do we create a user? Now, I need us to understand something. This is the very first place we'll get to, admin.microsoft.com. That's the first place you go to, admin.microsoft.com. When you get to admin.microsoft.com, whatever account that has been given to you, this is my own default account now. I have to put a.isa at ost5st.onmicrosoft.com, and then I will sign in. If your own account is maybe Yahoo and then you've been redirected, so what you are going to do is that you are going to use whatever account that is being provisioned for you to sign in, and then you're going to use Microsoft. And then I will also say, try to use incognito, so that it will not conflict with whatever Microsoft account that you already have on your system. And how do I use incognito? I'm going to show everyone. We have either in private for those who are using, you can use in private. This is an account here. This is a Microsoft Explorer also. Just go on those 3 dots here and say in private mode. This is this private mode, and just say admin.microsoft.com. Then it will give you a plain thing for you. It's not going to bring in anything for you. And then you just put in your account here. And then once you put your account here, then you sign in, right? If you are using if you are using this kind of if you are using this, sorry. If you are using this, you can go to if you are using Chrome, just go to this and said, oh, incognito is going to open a different browser distance for you. So that way you can work with it, and then you don't need to disturb yourself on this. You can see here it looks like it's black, and then you could see the environment. So I'm not conflicting with whatever I'm doing because I have a different account. You could see my account is different. If you go to my own work account, it's also different from this. So let's just have at back of our mind to start with. The very first thing. Now, we are going to be looking at two things. Now, we talked about identity last time. We talked about identity, and I will say we enter ID. And so our enter ID is where this identity is. We have several admin centers here, but the first thing we are going to go through is identity. So with this identity, you see, I have my own account here, but I'm using this. So, and then I look at this straight away, and then I try to, log into the identity. So this is, now, does it mean that there are things I can do here? There are things I can also do here. As a matter of fact, I can create account on both admin center, and I also create account on both, so I can create account, my user account via, take note, I can create my user account on the, this is an Entra. It brought me to Entra. So I can create, this is Microsoft 365 Admin Center. I can create my account here under active user like this, which we are going to create two different accounts. We're going to create one here. We're going to create one on the other side. And I can create one through user here as well. So now I'm going to create a new user. Now, like I said, if I'm going to be inviting you, I'm going to be doing this. So you don't need anything. But if I'm going to create a user for my test, we'll just create this. And then I could just say, so this is only what I have. So I'll just say test user 1. And then that becomes the test user 1. And then I could say, okay, test user. That is, I'm using it under Entra ID. And then, of course, I can put the password, and I can also put this. I can get the password for this. Then say, and then test user, test user. So, and then of course, I will say member because I want it to be a member account. So these are the basic things. I can decide to put a role, maybe add a group role for that person. Maybe I want this user to have a billing administrator account. I want to have exchange account. Whatever it is I want to have this person to do, I will do. So I can say this, and then 1 minute. So I can select, I'm just doing this one just so one test account. So I say put the role there. I can put groups there. Let's say there are groups on this place. Okay, this user has several groups here. I can decide to add this one to a group here. So you can create a group too as well. But let's look at it that, okay, you can add a group. Probably don't even know what that group is all about. But of course, I can add a group too. So, but that being said, so I then go and create. So I'm going to delete it, but just for creation. So now once I create this account, when I create this account here, there's no license here. I can also license it, but I just create the account. I say create. It will create the account for me. Then I can go and check test. So this is the account I create, and the account I create is a member. Is this, and then this account, does it have a license? There's no license here. So what does that mean? We're going to talk about that later on. Now what it means, let me see any other thing that we're going to talk about. Creating user, assign roles, which we can assign the create share mailbox. Okay, so let me just explain what means when you create a user. Now let's go back to what we have here. So immediately you create a user here, automatically does not comes with a license. You can decide to check a license here. Go back to under admin center. When you create a user, you see all these users as a license. Now let's look at the user we created is an active user. So let's quickly go to what's it called? Test user. So for those who have a this in place, you can always say, you could see that he's saying on license. What does that mean? Let's go to this. Now, since device does not have this thing, see this. Now, I have at least about 8 out of this that is available. So meaning I still have licenses that are available. Now, we are under mail. You see, there's no license. Under OneDrive, there's no license for this user. So, but let's go and check other, before we license it, let's check other users. Let's see what they have. Let's look at this Adele, and even my own that I created here. We can also check my own here. But let's look at Adele Vance. Look at this person here. He has this, he has this, he has, yeah, okay, this one doesn't have Intune, what about Intune for now. This one is checked, which means it has a license. And then when you have a license, automatically it comes with almost all these applications. All these applications, can you see it now? And then it can be customized. Even somebody has this or that license, you can still go ahead and restrict whether you don't want this person to have this or you don't want the person to have this, whichever way it is you want to have it. So you can also, then when you come to mail, you will see that this particular thing has a mailbox. And if you come to this one too, this particular too also, we have OneDrive link. Why? Because you license it. So basically, like I mentioned to you, everything you do in this part of this is licensed. And then it is licensed that provide you with the resources that you are going to access. That's set. So you should be able to have license now. And then let's talk about creating a mailbox. So the license you give to a user automatically provide a mailbox for the user. However, we can also create a share mailbox, and then we can practice with delegation for both the user mailbox and share mailbox. There are two different things, but I'm just going to give a kind of a brief. Next week, we are going to deep dive more into other things too as well. But this we're going to be, I'm going to ask people to, let me just create this one so that we can use that as an example. We'll create a share mailbox. We'll practice delegation for both. Then we'll create a share mailbox. Then we'll create groups, and then we create resources. All right. So because I think in my next class I explained, creating groups, different groups. So for now, we can just limit it to just assign licenses, roles, then also create share mailbox and then delegation. The other ones, you can skip it. So when we go to the next class, I'll explain more on that one, right? So let's quickly just go to under our user. Now, this we have created a user here, and then this user that we created here, let's try and see if we can license it either through here or through the other side. If you want to license it, you can just click license here, and then or even create a user and said, oh, these are all our licenses. So we have 24 licenses, and then we have assigned 17. So now we have 17 users already. Now all those users we can remove license from them, and then it will be what we are available is just 8. So, and it's not expiring soon, so it's good for us to use to practice with. So We have under user. So I just want to show us this license. So under user that we have as test user. Now we will look at the license here. So under user, let me see if I can assign licenses here. Okay, assign roles, assign license. So I can assign now. Let me see. Okay, asking me to go to admin center to assign. I think Microsoft is removing this one. They are making me to go to admin center to assign license. Okay, let's go to this admin center. So there are two centers here now. One, you create identity. The other one, you can create identity and you can license. This one, you can create identity here. You can also, put a license. So on this one, you just go to license. So you already create an account for it, text one OST, and then go to license and just click license. When you click license, all you need to do is just save changes, and that's it. Wait for some time, and then when you wait for some time, then this will populate. This also will populate, and then you have a user license. Now, with that user license, which is test user license, if that user license needs to have an access to, I'm going to go through all the messages. If this user license needs to have access to the share mailbox, let's look at if we have a share mailbox created in this account. So there's no share mailbox created in this account. This is our test account. So let's create a share mailbox. Now, let's say we want to create info, or let's say, info at, let's say, information, we'll call that mailbox information. So basically, I'm going to explain share mailbox and this one later on. Now, the share mailbox is a mailbox that you create that is being shared by several people. So I'm expecting that you guys can work with this info at this. I'm going to create this. We call it information. Now, this share mailbox I'm about to create, right, can be used by several people. And I'm going to tell you the difference between the share mailbox and also the difference between the share mailbox and the mailbox and the regular mailbox now, or maybe later on when we go to Exchange, we try to compare the two of them. But for now, let's create a share mailbox. So when we create a share mailbox, then it has created a share mailbox. Then it gives us an option to add members to this share mailbox. So this share mailbox is info at my ID, and then we have several people who can use it. So let's go to add members to this share mailbox. Now, all the members that they can be added to the share mailbox. More than 500 people can be added to the share mailbox. So I'm going to add this person. I'm also going to have our test user. Where's our test user? Let me search for it. So our test user has been licensed. I'm going to add our test user to the sharing box. So now what it means is that these two people, they can actually use this sharing box as if is their own. So if I go on this one, then I will see that this share mailbox, they can read any mail that comes to the share mailbox, and they can send for any mail that comes in. We're going to do a lot of practice on this one, but a simple task is whatever account, whatever environment you have yourself, which I'm going to drop in, I'm going to be closing the class now. You have to be able to, number one, create your tenant or be invited to a tenant just like this one, to have access to what you need to have access to, study the environment, go through the environment, being able to create an account. You can create an account, maybe your name, and then if a license is there, license it. After some time, you can delete it. So it doesn't matter. Can you make use of what you have based on what you have? So for those who are going to be joining that, I'm going to set up a rule for them what they're going to be doing so that people will not mess the whole account up. So basically it's just for us to practice. And because if you don't practice in this environment, there's no way you'll be able to practice. You understand? There's no way you'll be able to practice, in there, because if you are confident in this, and then you are confident, you can be able to tell them, oh, I can do that, I can do this. But if you don't have what it takes to be able to practice, there's no way you can be confident, to get a job or get a remote job, or for us to even consider you, to get job, remotely. So definitely it's something that you have to, work towards, right? So I'm going to drop it. I'll leave it at 6 now. I'm going to stop my share. Let me read. So I'm going to read. I think a lot of you drop comments. So Donna said, "How are you be able to get it, please? Is it paid or trial?" So I'm a partner to Microsoft. We are partner to Microsoft, so we can easily get whatever I want to get. We have partner accounts, and it's easy. And then I think for those who are like I said, when I work with Microsoft, at some point, Microsoft gave it to me. For the company that is here, that we are partner with the hoster too as well. And so we can easily get it. So they didn't even ask me anything. I only used my ID and I was able to create it. So we can leverage on that. For those who are going to be going to expert class, there's something called Microsoft Partner University, where we have even a lot of resources, for those who are going to be going into a lot of architecture works and all that. So we have all those things, as partner to Microsoft. So you have a lot of things to gain, a lot to gain, trust me. Whatever you are paying it's just a minute of what you are getting from us. So we have that. I think they've asked you to put in your for those who are watching here, to put your attendance, because we want to make sure to track people who are actually doing the job, who are working. So a lot of people are saying that they are registering, having problem. Please meet with Mr. Daniel. Mr. Daniel will help you. So it's okay for the syllabus. Let me quickly see if I can see the syllabus, because I think I must have opened it. I will check where the syllabus is, for me to relate that syllabus to, for people who are asking. Just one moment. For those who have questions, you want to drop your question. If you have a question, please drop your question. If the video is online, you can always follow with the videos, right? So get all the things you need to get. Can play it as many times you want to play it. It's not going to go away. So please do avail yourself with lot of information as regards that. So we have, I'm going to be opening when I open that, I'll share my screen. Okay, for the purpose of free clarity, I'm going to share my screen now, because I think I have it here with me. For those who have been asking questions as regards the curriculum. I'm going to share that. I don't always want to jump the gun, but people have been asking questions on that. So we'll see how complex it is. So for the 3 weeks program, you should be able to at least get all this. For the 3 weeks program, you get exposed to the Entra ID, overview of Admin Center, Exchange Online, and then also SharePoint will be introduced to all this and all that. And then of course, and then you have this. Now, for those who are going to be, for those who are going to be going, and this will probably take, the first one will take 3 weeks. And then for those who are going to be going to advanced class, they're going to be more about 10 weeks. Now, the first week one will be 1 hour, and then the other will be 2 hours per class. So this is not like almost 20 weeks, basically, because it'll be 2 hours per class. And then, but it's going to be constrained, and then there are more workloads to be done. They have to now be introduced to public DNS. They have more other things they have to work with. They have to do a lot of troubleshooting, advanced troubleshootings in different things. They will be introduced to what called PowerShell, because they are now serious. They are now things, they really want to do the job, and they really want to get job, especially, working with, people outside the country. Then of course, we also need to do, some analysis on the security admin side and all that. And of course, we also expected that this attendance is also maintained. And for those who are going to be doing experts, so in total will be 18 weeks, with whatever it is that they have. And then, of course, a whole lot of things are coming into it. We have what we call conditional access. It's going to be application registration is going to be involved. So B2C, B2B, B2C, complex cases of troubleshooting multi-tenants will be involved. So you could see that it goes down like that, like that, like that. So we have on-premises, and then we also have Azure portal, virtual machines, and networking. So we're going to get to that point where you can have all this, and SharePoint, creating sites, web parts, a whole lot of things is going to be, at this point, you are going to be creating automations, running scripts and all that. So a whole lot of things going to be involved with this going on. I hope I satisfied those who asked the questions, who asked, if, I think I answered you guys now. All right. So I'm going to stop here. So as regards somebody is asking, okay, two or three questions. St. Charles, are you still asking questions? All right, St. Charles.
No, please. No, please. No, please.
Okay. All
Sorry.
right.
Let me drop my.
Okay. So we have Hamid.
Okay, yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the class. In fact, I've been looking for this for quite a while now. So, first of all, I want to confirm something. You made mention of the advanced class, and that's 18 weeks. Am I correct, sir?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
the advanced class is 10 weeks, which means which will comprise with this 3 weeks you're already going through, with another
Okay.
7 weeks. But that 7 weeks will be going to be 2 hours per class.
Okay. So now you mentioned of another one 18 weeks. Which one is that one exactly?
So that will be an additional class for those who want to go into expert level. So if you want to just go through the program, just sign for all through the program will go, because we felt like we don't want to some people, there's a limit to which they can go. You understand? There's a
Okay.
limit to which they can go. Some people just want to just be on the entry level, and we can ask them to go beyond. Some people feel like, oh, I have what it takes. I can, go more. And then, in industry, it's the more experience you have, the more your value is, right? And then the more,
Yeah.
if somebody wants to employ anybody out of America, he has to understand that, okay, this person must have a special skill, before you can actually get such a job remotely, right? So of
Yeah.
course, we always advise people to go to expert level, because that requires some high level of special skill. That's why they can invite people from India and said, oh, we want you, to work for us, because they looked around and said, oh, they don't have that kind of special skill around here. We want to hire people out there to do the job for us. And that's why India is still leading today. We want to make sure, and it's a good thing, because whether you like it or not, people need service. And it's only for people that can provide the service they are going to employ anyway. So I just want us to understand that. So Idowu,
Yeah. Sir,
yeah,
can you hear me?
yes,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. I'm sorry for cutting
You are
you.
still asking
Yeah.
questions.
So does the one for 18 weeks, right, is the one that is 150K, right?
So if you are going for 18 weeks, means that you are starting from here now. All through,
Okay.
the whole program is going to cover 18 weeks altogether. That's what it
Okay.
means.
And
Yeah.
that's the 150K, right?
No. It's going to be in two parts. So the first one, I think, is 150, and the second part is going to be 200. So if you are going to be going through all the 18 weeks, and that's about 4 months, that will be 350 altogether. But if you just want to stop
Okay.
on the advanced class alone, that's just 150. But if you want to go all through
Okay.
to this, that will be 18 weeks.
Okay, but we can pay instrumentally, right? For a 350, you can
Yes,
pay
you can pay
instrumentally.
yes, you can pay instrumental. You can reach out to Mr. Daniel. Mr. Daniel would work with you. You can pay instrumentally, as you can work around things with Mr. Daniel, right?
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it.
You are welcome. Mr. Ido, or is it Ido? Sorry, I don't know whether it's gender. Sorry, go ahead.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. So my question, although I think this last person asked the question, but I didn't get it correctly. The full class altogether is 18 weeks, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now my question is for the two other classes aside this first class, this beginner class. Is there any payment for the expert then the other the last one?
Yeah, I think I just showed.
Yeah, I
So
said just like I said I didn't get that part right. That's what I'm asking.
okay, so we have for the first 3 weeks free. For you to go to the next class, additional 7 weeks, making sure that, because you can't just come in and say you want to come in for even if you come in and say you want to go for the advanced class, we'll still have to go through that 3 weeks of that, even though it's free, but we already know that we have to understand the basics, because they're all part of it. So that makes it 10 weeks, right?
Okay.
Then exactly. So now if you want to go beyond that, additional 8 weeks, that makes it 18 weeks together.
18 weeks. Okay.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So how much for the payment aspect now? How much
So the
are we
first,
look
with the second, the advanced class is 150, and then the expert level is 200. So making it, so again, we don't know. Some people said, oh, I want to go beyond this. I'm okay with this. I can do self-learning on my own. That's okay. So altogether is 350. So you can decide to be paying now, installments, if you want to go all through that class. And then you can just reach out to Mr. Daniel, work out a payment plan with you, and then you can begin to walk through, and then and walk through. And they will provide all you need, even supporting you in whatever certifications you want to do. And that's what we are here for. All right.
Okay, so together with this beginner class, that should be 360.
Yeah, that should be 350 up to expert class. Yes.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes. So expert class is after the beginner's class, after the advanced class. Yes, so I will send it to Mr. Daniel, or I will just for you to post for those one, because we don't really want to bore people like, oh, here we go, are talking about money, when we're actually doing it, because we want to make sure that people actually get their best. And the idea is we are trying to promote the next generation of tech people, and then also for people in Africa especially to be involved. We have billions of I mean it's in billions in terms of people, what people need, the the resources that people need in part of the overseas. And then we won't feel that India is taking majority of those portions, and we feel that Nigerians, Africans, Ghana, all these other people countries can also be involved, and then be involved immensely, and also get a portion of that, and then of course be a very good word from. That's why we decided to also bring this in home. That's okay. Let people who have interest start first. Well, as they are building that interest, we are seeking opportunities at the same time for them outside the country. We are not just teaching them to see how they can get engaged and all that. So that's a goal. All right. So any question on the technical? I think we are good. So this week, please. So any question on the technical parts this week, please, if you have your this thing, so this week, so try and get your account working. You have now.
I'm raising up my hand, sir.
Hi.
Sorry. Okay. Oh, sorry, Evans. Evans, right?
Yes, sir.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, good evening. I wanted to ask, the 365 is so similar to Azure. I just wanted your view or your education on the relationship between the two.
Okay, so this is the way it is. Azure, it's a Microsoft cloud environment. It's a niche for Microsoft that said when it comes to Azure, Microsoft Cloud, right? That's what you should have at the back of your mind. Then within that cloud, there is a version where you have services. You say Microsoft Cloud Services. That's what M365 or O365 or whichever way you may call it now is. Now the Azure itself, it's a big. Let me show you. The Azure itself, it's a what I call where you can have what we call PAS or IAS. I explained something yesterday where we talk about different models, different deployments. So you have the one we call SaaS, which is software as service. Software as services. All this one that we are trying to put licenses and subscriptions and all that, because the server we already have the servers somewhere, like Exchange server is there, Identity server is there. All we are doing is just bringing our information and there we are using it. So that belongs to SaaS environments. But when it comes to Azure, you are likely going to create your own machine. You are likely going to create, set up how your own configuration, your application is going to be. So those are other environments, it's where you can talk about PAS or IAS, which is infrastructure as services. And then so that's one is what we can talk about and say this. So, but the whole group name is called Azure. But of course, the idea is, I think I also explained something similar to that also when it comes to about service subscription, when it comes to Exchange online, all those things. Because in Azure, you can install your Exchange server, meaning that you can go to a part of Azure and say, oh, I want to install my Exchange server, and then look for a particular hard disk, look for this and look for this and install it. And it's going to be on premise because it is your own environment. But if you are going to be Exchange online, that is a service already been provided. All you need to do is just put a license, you have the mailbox. So it's a service, it's software as service. Why the other one, excuse me, is something that you have to create. You understand? That's your on-premises, that's your local environment. Even though it's in Azure, but you are also paying subscription in Azure. The only thing is that you are now having your own environment in Azure. And that's why we call infrastructure as service. You are still paying for it. It's still subscription, but it created your own environment within Azure. So generally, so that's why they say Microsoft Azure is basically Microsoft cloud environment. But you can use that cloud environment for whatever things you want to use it for. I believe that's explained that, at least in a way. As you progress it, you understand much, because I don't want to start using big time or whatever. So just for you to understand, at least, to understand where the whole thing is coming from, you get more clearer to you.
Okay.
So any other question?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? I think I have Akop, right? If I'm
Yes, I wanted to ask one question, sir.
Hello.
Yeah,
good
evening, sir. Yes, and
Hello.
can you raise up your hand? There, let me take.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, my question, I put it on the chat. Can we get the installation files for us to start? Because for me now, I'm just starting today.
You have to. Like I said, the first thing you have to do, go through this thing, and you understand everything we are doing. Because I can't. I don't know where to start from. So there's no installation file. All you need to just go through the video. Take time to go through the video, and then you can catch up. Because we started last week. The orientation was started last week, and then we started another one yesterday. And there are a lot of questions that were asked. So you may be able to catch up with it. If you are coming in, and then we'll be able to get to your question fully. You understand what I'm trying to say? So so let me pick up the next person. Just go through that.
But in that case, that means I can't do the assignment now.
You have 1 week now to do the assignment. Now you have 1 week. You have between now and next week.
So I'm saying, so what do I need to do the assignment? I don't need to install the app before I can do the assignment.
You are not installing anything. You are not installing anything.
All right.
Install, yes. Right.
Okay.
Dagbera. I think I think Chukwudi already asked question, right?
I've not, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
All right, sir. Good evening. My question is whether you mentioned Active Directory, which is an on-prem identity management system, right? And you also mentioned being able to link Azure and Active Directory together. And my question is there the resources you can share with us to provision maybe
if you know what
practice plus
these guys, I know they don't put that
resources. Okay, hold on. Somebody I think I'm saying somebody is other person is speaking on the background.
Dagbera, please mute.
So okay. So Chukwudi, we have not got to that stage. You are still, this is just a stage where I'm just getting everybody exposed to what's likely going to happen. When we're likely going to get to that on the where we get to where we are going to have the two identity match together, that will be on the advanced class. But it's good for those who are going to be on the entry level to have understanding of what are general understanding of likely going to happen. Of course, we are going to get that. We are going to practicalize it. You understand? So don't bother about that. By the time you get to a place, you have all the resources. We have several Microsoft documentations, and then you are also going to practice it as well. So it's not something that you are going to actually practice it. So, but let's see how it goes from there. So we have what else again? Abijo Taiwo, right? Oh, sorry, Dagbera. I think I skipped you.
Yes, good evening, sir. Sorry, my hand is still up, but thank you for the job well done. The question that I want to ask, you already answered it because I was about to talk about the assignment, but you said that we have the one the 1 week interval, we can use it to go through the video and see and do the assignment. So thank you so
Okay,
much.
you're welcome.
I am great.
So
Yeah.
Abdullah, can you
Hi.
go ahead?
Hi, sir. Good evening. Thank you very much for this class.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
So my question is, what kind of, for those who are interested in the expert level, what kind of jobs are we going to be sent? Like, for example, will it be like international jobs or jobs from Nigeria? And my second question would be, would this also include like preparation for like the Microsoft Advanced certifications as well?
Yes, so let me start from the back. Yes, part of, if you are going to advanced level, definitely, part of the training you're going to get is to prepare you for certification, because you cannot get to that advanced level and then you will not be prepared for certification. And in fact, we are even going to be looking for you to see if we can employ you. That's the truth. So let's put that one by side. Now, in terms of job at the expert level, it's easy for us to sell you, because we can't sell somebody who doesn't have what it takes, to compete on the global market. We have to, if you are going to sell you, for instance, if we have a client here and then that looking for somebody, and then we know we can engage you, and then we know that you have what it takes, we can easily sell you. Do you understand the picture? So it's easy for me to sell somebody who's on expert level and who has what it takes, because it makes sense for me, right? Because and then more so, you have several opportunities, right? Several opportunities. The knowledge is already there, yours. And then of course we can, dictate your price, dictate your, whatever you want to. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to go beyond 2 minutes because I have so other things to attend to. I'm not sure if I've listened to Abijo. Please, Abijo Taiwo.
Yes, sir. You have not listened to me, sir.
Okay.
Good evening. Yeah.
Yes,
one of my questions, I think you have answered it. Is synchronizing of a cloud and then the actual services together. That say until an advanced class before we can know much about that. So my other question is that when you are talking about the share mailbox, you said you will still explain better what's share mailbox and then the ordinary mailbox. So I think you omit that you didn't expatiate more on how the share mailbox works and what it's meant for. That I just wanted to know more details about that.
Yes,
Mailbox.
I'm going to explain that more, because I will be able to compare the two environments, because we have not gone to Exchange Online. So for now, I only want us to work only on the identity, so that we know that, okay, you can create an identity from here and you can create an identity from here. And those are the things I want to establish today. By next class, we'll be talking about Admin Center, Exchange Admin Center. Then we'll have to fully explore the share mailbox on the two ends, the looking for the account, and then of course we have to test Outlook with it as well. So definitely we are going to get there. So don't worry.
The other question is the email the user account created, all the tests that I see that okay, they are is it Microsoft or whatever? Because I know that most companies use their domain for their for this their account instead of dots. How are we going to use that? Are we going to create it, or probably assuming a company already has a domain? How is that one going to be integrated into this Office 365 for them to be using for their users?
Yes, so it's very simple, but it's going to be done on the advanced level. Now, I'm going to show you here. I have one here that I've done. I understand a good question. The one that comes with Microsoft comes with Microsoft. At least for the sake of clarity, I'm going to share my own environment to you, just for you to have an idea of what we are talking about, meaning bringing your own domain into your environment. So that's what we are trying to say.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you want us to bring your domain to environment. So in my own environment, here, I'm gonna share my screen now. It's taking time.
Okay, while you are sharing the screen, the third question that I wanted to ask is not a question per se, it's just a plead, especially for we in Nigeria. Probably maybe you can subsidize the intermediary and then the advance payment for, because in Nigeria it's hot right now. Our government is doing us the way they are doing us, and it's difficult for personally. I don't know others, but I know it's applicable everywhere in Nigeria. So probably you can just try. I'm just pleading. You can look for us and just try to, if you can just a little bit there.
The price you are asking for, that price is heavily subsidized. You may not understand. The people in America, they are paying thousands of dollars for that.
Yes, I know. I
Yeah.
I didn't compare that. I
So,
was in Nigeria, because we in Nigeria we know what we're
So,
currently.
and that was the idea was to ensure that people have a lot of discounts. I mean, because you cannot really pay for the amounts for what we are giving you. It's not measurable. So we've reduced it, to the barest minimum. Now, whatever you are paying is just more like a service charge or something. So it's in fact, I really cherish the team who are setting this up, to be frank, because I know how much they are going to pay me, even though I still kind of reduce for you guys to have these services. So this is what you are talking about, having different domain, brought into your system. So we are going to treat that when we get to and then you want to create an account, and then I try to create an account. You have several domains that you can use alongside. So we are going to get to that. So no doubt about it. So let's see how it goes. So I'm going to stop share. I just want to just show you that yes, when we get to the advanced class, we are going to work with those are the things where we go, because we don't want to bore people. We just want to make sure incite them to be able to see that there are opportunities out there they can actually use to do a whole lot of things. So I think I'm going to hold it there. I think it was Evans I just finished asking that. He's asking question right now, right?
No,
Yes,
it's Tao that's asking question. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm
Yes,
done with my
sir.
question.
I just wanted to place. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to place a question on billing. Since you said 365 here is a sub-service under Azure. When it comes to billing, are you billed on both separately? That is, you are billed Azure separately and you are billed on 365, or everything comes through separately?
You are billed separately. Now, it also depends on you are billed separately. You bid on license on one, on the user license, the other P2 or E5 or so license on one. On the other one, you bid on subscription. And then you create a subscription account on Azure side. You create a subscription and then you are billed on that. So you're billed separately. So let me probably just show, I just put out, keep going back and forth. When we get there, we'll explain to you. So, and then you get, I know a lot of who are anticipating, want to go, it's a long journey, no problem. But when we get there, we'll explain, and they will be able to go alongside with us, right?
All right, so that means going forward, I have an Azure account. Going forward, that means everybody having the 365 account now also has to have an Azure account.
Yeah, so definitely yes. It's if you create your account, automatically you already have it. But somehow, if you are going a free, if you want to get a free account, it will ask you to formally ask for it. Once you create an admin account, by default, you have also an Azure account. Now, that Azure account, you also need to create subscription on it before it can be operational.
Yeah.
You understand? But it's the
Yes,
same
sir,
account,
that's
the
true.
same UID, exactly. So that's what you're going to do.
All right,
So
sir. Thank you very much, sir.
you are welcome. So I'm going to.
Sorry. It's a similar question I didn't ask. I have an Azure account, and I've checked here in the app that I have Microsoft 360, I have Entra ID. So I tried logging to though the account has expired. I opened the account. I never did anything for the free subscription. So I just checked now to see whether I can be able to access the account. I've logged into the Azure, but I tried to access the Microsoft 360. They're telling me that I should log out completely, then I should log in to the Microsoft 360. So I don't know. Is it because the subscription has expired, or
Well,
I can
you know what
I
we
can
will
open
do?
it?
What I will say is that when we get to that part, we will be
Okay.
able to address it fully because, like I said, this class is majorly for getting people excited to make sure that they get to the next class, and then
Okay.
we'll begin to walk around. We're going to do some quite number of things here too, no doubt. But we just want to make sure that we have this foundation. So when we get there, let's take it one by one. That will make sense for everyone, right?
No problem.
Okay, thank you so much. You guys are really taking almost 2 hours of my time. All right, so we'll talk later. Thank you so much for every one of you. So hopefully the next class will be able to move forward faster. All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.